Okay, so this patient has a left on right backward sacral torsion. What that means is his left sacral base is rotated back to the left on his right oblique axis. So, in order to treat a left on right backward sacral torsion, we lie the patient on the axis of dysfunction so that we have the base up towards the ceiling or towards us. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to try to get that sacral base to come forward as much as we can. What does that? Lumbar spine extension. So the first thing I'm going to do is palpate my patient's sacral base, my left sacral base, and kind of drag it a little bit forward if I can, or if not, at least place my hand on there, so I can feel the motion dysfunction, or the end range. I'm going to bring the patient's lower extremities into extension, which is going to localize my extension barrier of my sacrum. I'll allow him to bend a little bit back here just to get that leg so he's not feeling like he's falling. I'm now going to switch hands, so my caudal hand is now on my sacral base, still dragging it forward to maintain the pelvis or the hips vertical or perpendicular to the table. Now I'm going to add the rotation. So I have my lumbar spine extension, which brings my sacral base forward. Now if I add lumbar spine left rotation, it should make my sacrum rotate to the right. Because I'm in extension, it's going to be extension with rotation left, which is going to bring the sacrum into flexion with rotation right. So what I'll do, the first thing I'll do is just localize my rotation barrier. If the patient feels restricted there, so I can't get all the way down, what I'll do is ask for muscle energy here. We did this before for FRSs, so we have the patient push, de-rotate or rotate into me. Don't let me move you, and relax. And as he relaxes, I might take him a little further into the rotation barrier. I'll do a couple until I am able to localize down to my sacrum. So go ahead one more time, and relax. And we get him rotated back. In this case, if I can, he's going to hold on to that table. If he can't do that, I take his whole body and rotate him back toward the table so he can reach it. Now what I can do is cinch up a little bit further into my extension barrier. So I'm going to come under his waist, slide under, and give him just a little bit more pull into extension, which further brings that sacrum into flexion or forward. Now, without losing all of this, he's holding on. I'm going to switch positions. I'm going to turn my body now to face his head. This allows me to drag his sacrum and pelvis forward, give him a little bit of traction force. And now, very important, I'm going to take this leg and just scissor it across the other leg. I do not want to flex his hip. Here's what happens if I flex his hip. Everything falls back and I lose my localization. So I keep it here, the leg scissors across to adduct. Now my muscle energy here is for the patient to lift the leg up into adduction and relax. Okay, as he relaxes, maybe I'm going to mobilize, or I'm just going to perceive the change in the motion, in the position of that sacrum. Lift that leg up again and relax. As he relaxes, I take him a bit further. One more time. Good. And relax. As he relaxes, if I want, I could mess around a little with gapping of that joint by pulling him caudally or distracting his leg a bit distally. And finally, when I'm done with this technique, I bring the patient back up. I can't just unravel him too much. I need to kind of milk him back a little bit, so I'll let him unroll and give him just a little bit of mobilizations and oscillations through here so that we don't impinge the joint on the way back.